Welcome to English Chat Flow.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English Chat Flow. I'm Melissa, and I'm really happy you are here with us today.
And I'm Mark. It's great to have you with us again. We always imagine you listening somewhere in the world, maybe at home, on the bus, or walking outside.
Yes, and wherever you are, we hope you feel relaxed and comfortable while listening. Today, we have a topic that can help you in many real situations.
We are going to talk about how to communicate with confidence in English, and we will do it in clear and natural English for B1 to B2 learners.
Our goal is not to teach perfect grammar today. Our goal is to help you feel more comfortable when you speak.
Because many learners know a lot of English, but they still feel nervous when they need to use it in a real conversation.
Before we continue, think about this question. In what situation do you feel least confident when speaking English?
Maybe it is during a job interview. Maybe it is when talking to a customer, a teacher, or a colleague.
Or maybe you feel nervous when speaking with native speakers because you are afraid of making mistakes.
If that sounds familiar, don't worry. Many English learners feel exactly the same way.
Mark, let me ask you something. Have you ever felt nervous before speaking in public?
Absolutely. Even now, before an important presentation, I sometimes feel my heart beating faster.
Really? People often think confident speakers never feel nervous.
That is a common misunderstanding. Confidence does not mean you never feel nervous. It means you continue speaking even when you feel nervous.
I like that definition. Confidence is not the absence of fear. It is the ability to speak despite fear.
Exactly. And confidence grows through practice, not through waiting for a perfect moment.
Let's talk about a very common problem. Many learners stop speaking because they are searching for the perfect sentence.
Yes, they are thinking about grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, and word order all at the same time.
And while they're thinking, the conversation keeps moving.
Then they become more stressed and say nothing at all.
A simple solution is to focus on communication first.
If your message is clear, that is already a success.
For example, imagine you want to say, "I couldn't attend the meeting because my car broke down."
If you forget some words, you can still communicate. I didn't come to the meeting. My car had a problem.
The sentence is simpler, but the meaning is clear.
And that keeps the conversation alive.
Another important idea is speaking more slowly.
Many learners think fast speaking sounds more advanced.
But fast speaking often creates more mistakes and more stress.
A calm pace gives your brain time to choose words.
Let me demonstrate. If I say, "Well, I think this project could be useful because it helps our team save time," I am speaking at a natural pace.
And listeners can understand you clearly.
Now imagine I try to say the same thing extremely quickly. It becomes harder to understand.
So, remember, clear communication is more important than fast communication.
Mark, what is one trick that helps you when you suddenly forget a word?
I use a pause and a simple explanation.
Can you give us an example?
Sure. Suppose I forget the word umbrella. I might say, "It's the thing you use when it rains."
That is a great strategy.
Native speakers do this too. They don't always remember the exact word immediately.
So forgetting a word does not mean your English is bad.
It simply means your brain is working.
Another useful habit is preparing a few phrases that give you time to think.
For example, "Let me think for a moment."
Or, "That's an interesting question."
Or, "If I understand correctly."
These phrases sound natural and help you stay calm.
They also make you sound more confident because you are managing the conversation.
Let's do a small role play. Imagine I am in a meeting and someone asks me a difficult question.
Okay, I'll ask the question. Melissa, what are the biggest risks of this project?
That's a good question. Let me think for a moment. I believe the biggest risks are cost, time, and communication between teams.
Excellent. You used a thinking phrase, then answered clearly.
And notice that I did not use very complicated vocabulary.
Exactly. Confidence often comes from clarity, not complexity.
Now let's talk about body language.
This is important because communication is not only about words.
When possible, make eye contact.
Keep your shoulders relaxed.
And avoid looking down all the time.
Even a small smile can make you appear more confident.
I remember my first English presentation at university. I was so nervous that I held my paper with both hands and never looked up.
I had a similar experience. I once spoke so quietly that the teacher asked me to repeat every sentence. Those experiences were uncomfortable, but they helped us improve.
And that is another important message. Confident communicators are usually people who practiced many times, not people who were perfect from the beginning.
So if you feel nervous today, that does not mean you will feel nervous forever.
Every conversation is a chance to build confidence little by little.
The key is to keep communicating, even when your English is not perfect.
Because real confidence grows through action, not through waiting for perfection. So now that we have talked about speaking with confidence, let's move into some real-life situations where confidence is especially important.
Yes, because communication changes depending on where you are and who you're talking to.
Let's start with a situation that many learners experience: introducing yourself.
This seems simple, but many people become nervous when someone says, "Tell me about yourself."
A good introduction does not need to be long, it just needs to be clear.
For example, "Hi, I'm Mark. I work in customer service, and I'm currently improving my English for my career."
That sounds natural and confident.
Notice that I used simple information: my name, my job, and my goal.
Let me try another example. Hello, I'm Melissa. I enjoyed teaching English and creating learning content for students.
Perfect. Short, clear, and easy to understand.
Another common situation is asking for clarification.
Many learners pretend to understand because they are embarrassed.
But confident communication includes asking questions when you need help.
You can say, "Could you repeat that, please?"
Or, I'm sorry, I didn't catch the last part.
Or, "Could you explain that in a different way?"
These are professional and polite phrases.
In fact, asking for clarification often shows that you are paying attention.
Let's do another role play.
Okay, imagine I am your manager. "Melissa, please send the revised report before the client meeting tomorrow afternoon."
I'm sorry, could you clarify which report you mean?
The sales report from last week.
Thank you. I'll send the revised sales report before tomorrow afternoon.
Excellent. You confirmed the information instead of guessing.
Another challenge is joining a conversation that is already happening.
Yes, this can feel difficult because people are already talking.
A simple strategy is to listen first, then add a short comment.
You can say, "I agree with that."
Or, that's interesting, in my experience.
Or, "I'd like to add something."
These phrases help you enter the conversation smoothly.
Let's imagine a group discussing remote work.
Someone says, working from home saves a lot of time.
Then you could respond, "I agree with that. In my experience, remote work reduces commuting stress."
That is a confident contribution, even though it is not very long.
Exactly. You do not need to speak for 5 minutes to sound confident.
Now let's talk about pronunciation for a moment.
Many learners worry that their accent is a problem.
But having an accent is completely normal.
The main goal is intelligibility.
That means people can understand what you are saying.
Clear pronunciation is more important than sounding exactly like a native speaker.
One useful exercise is recording yourself.
I know many people dislike hearing their own voice.
Me too. The first time I recorded myself speaking English, I was surprised by how different my voice sounded.
But recordings are very helpful because you can notice areas for improvement.
You can listen for pronunciation, speed, and pauses.
Another powerful technique is shadowing.
Shadowing means listening to a short sentence and repeating it immediately.
For example, I say, I'd like to discuss this idea further.
And the learner repeats, I'd like to discuss this idea further.
This helps with rhythm, pronunciation, and confidence.
Now, let's discuss confidence in professional communication.
At work, many people worry about sounding too simple.
But simple and professional is often better than complicated and confusing.
Instead of saying a very complex sentence, you can say, I recommend this option because it is faster and less expensive.
That is direct, clear, and professional.
Another useful phrase is, from my perspective.
Or, based on the information we have.
These phrases help you express opinions politely.
Let's practice.
Which marketing strategy should we choose?
From my perspective, the online campaign is the best option because it can reach more customers.
Very good. You gave an opinion and a reason.
That combination sounds confident.
Now, let's talk about mistakes.
This is probably the biggest fear for many learners.
Here is an important truth. Confident speakers make mistakes too.
The difference is that they keep going.
Imagine you say, yesterday I go to the store.
You can quickly correct yourself. Sorry, yesterday I went to the store.
Then continue speaking.
You do not need to apologize for 30 seconds.
Exactly. A quick correction is enough.
Another mindset change is viewing mistakes as information.
Instead of thinking, I failed, think, now I know what to practice.
That makes learning less stressful.
Before we finish this part, let's review 3 key habits.
First, focus on clear communication, not perfect communication.
Second, use simple phrases to buy time and stay calm.
Third, continue speaking even when you make small mistakes.
These habits can make a huge difference in everyday conversations.
And the more you use them, the more natural they will become.
Because confidence is not a special talent, it is a skill that grows every time you communicate.
Now, let's focus on something very practical. How can you build confidence every day, even if you do not have many opportunities to speak English with other people?
That is an excellent question because many learners study alone.
The good news is that confidence can be trained before a real conversation happens.
One simple exercise is talking to yourself in English for a few minutes each day.
Some people think that sounds strange.
It does sound a little strange, but it works very well.
You can describe what you are doing. I'm making coffee, I'm checking my emails, or I'm going to the store.
This helps your brain connect English with daily life.
Another exercise is answering simple questions out loud.
For example, what did you do yesterday?
What are your plans for this weekend?
What is something you learned recently?
The goal is not perfection. The goal is getting used to producing English.
Exactly. Many learners spend hours listening and reading, but very little time speaking.
Listening and reading are important, but confidence grows when you actively use the language.
Let's share a useful routine.
Okay, what does your routine look like?
First, I listen to a short English audio for 2 or 3 minutes.
Then what?
I repeat a few sentences out loud.
So you practice pronunciation and rhythm.
Yes, after that, I try to summarize the audio in my own words.
That is a powerful exercise because it combines listening, speaking, and thinking.
And it only takes a few minutes.
Another important skill is asking follow-up questions.
Confident communicators do not only answer questions, they also keep the conversation moving.
For example, if someone says, I visited Japan last year, you can ask, which city did you enjoy the most?
Or, what was the most surprising thing you experienced there?
These questions show interest and create a natural conversation.
Let's practice a short dialogue.
I started a new job last month.
That's exciting. What do you enjoy most about the new job?
I enjoy working with a very supportive team.
That sounds great. What kind of projects are you working on?
Notice how the conversation continues naturally.
Yes, And confident communication is often about curiosity.
Now, let's review some useful vocabulary from today's episode.
The first word is clarify. Clarify means to make something clear.
Example, could you clarify what you mean?
The next word is intelligible. Intelligible means easy to understand.
Example, her pronunciation is very intelligible.
Another useful word is hesitate. Hesitate means to pause because you are unsure.
Example, I hesitated before answering the question.
We also used professional. Professional means appropriate for work or business situations.
Example, she gave a professional response.
Another important word is summarize. Summarize means to give the main points in a shorter form.
Example, can you summarize the meeting for me?
And finally, supportive. Supportive means encouraging and helpful.
Example, my colleagues are very supportive.
Here is a small challenge for you. Try to make one sentence with each of these words.
This is a great way to move vocabulary from passive knowledge to active use.
Before we finish, let's return to the main idea of today's episode.
Communicating with confidence in English does not mean speaking perfectly.
It means expressing your ideas clearly, asking questions when needed, and continuing even when you make mistakes.
If you can do that, you are already communicating with confidence.
So this week, try one small action. Start one conversation in English, ask one follow-up question, or speak for 2 minutes out loud by yourself.
Small actions repeated regularly create big changes over time.
And if you want to practice right now, answer this question in English.
What is one situation where you want to communicate more confidently?
You can say, I'm your name from your country, and I want to communicate more confidently when...
It could be at work, at school, while traveling, or during everyday conversations.
Thank you for spending this time with us and practicing your English.
Keep speaking, keep learning, and keep believing that improvement is possible.
We'll see you in the next episode of English Chat Flow.